Absolutely. Well, it looks like the early indications are that Rutgers offense is going to be an offense to be reckoned with this year. And they're going to have balance in the running back room and depth. And I think we're going to have a quarterback in Callie Kamanis who has grown from last year. And with that offensive line, we could be dangerous both in the run and pass. And that also brings me to the next part of this show, which is we've got some great transfers, but more importantly, some great young players coming in that are going to make an early impact in 2025 and beyond. Do you want to talk about who those players are and how they're going to take the Scarlet Knights to new heights this year in the Big Ten?
Yeah, absolutely. So Raymond, he gets another year to develop as sort of a 1B option. We've already touched on him a lot. We have KJ Duff, sophomore. He's listed as wide receiver 1. He's going to be out wide with DT Sheffield as the slot receiver, although he's going to be a senior. But we have 4 wide receivers that are sophomores that we're going to have for next year and the year after. KJ Duff, as I just mentioned, Fama Toure, sophomore, Ben Black, sophomore, Ben Rosenblatt, sophomore. These guys are all considered wide receivers as opposed to slot receivers. So it'll be an interesting dynamic in the depth chart, and maybe look for 1 or 2 to transfer out, or if a few more do, we can get a star wide receiver to transfer in. Tight ends, Logan Blake, sophomore. We have 2 other tight ends, so he's 3rd on the list, but he's there to progress and probably start 2026. When it comes to the offensive line, Raymond Giacob, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, freshman, and he's the thing is with the offensive line, all the underclassmen are actually second, which is it's rare to even have a deep depth chart for the offensive line, but we do have that blessing, thankfully, this next year with Raymond Giacob, freshman, Nick Oliveira at right guard, sophomore, Dominic Rivera, right tackle, sophomore. And these guys they're probably not going to start next year, but you can look for them to see some action the year after. Or if there's injury, cross your fingers, they will play this year because they're next in line and only other guys in line.
Yeah.
And then when you go to defensive end, you'll have to forgive my pronunciation on this one. Abdul Jibril Rahman, sophomore. He's actually projected to start at a defensive end, I believe at left defensive end. Transferred Daryl Denegohi. He is from James Madison University. He is projected to start. He's a sophomore. And outside linebackers, we have Abram Wright, sophomore, Sam Robinson, freshman, Kevin Levy, freshman. So we have a lot of young transfers and young new commits that could have an exciting 2025 and beyond.
Yeah, I think you raise some great points, and we certainly do have some great players coming in. But I want to emphasize, especially on the defensive side of the ball, where we lost a lot of talent, and Coach Shiano has done a fantastic job of bringing in both experience and youth, particularly on the defensive line, that is going to make this Rutgers defense formidable. For example, on the defensive side, we have Michael Clayton from Warner Robins, Georgia, 6 foot, 180 pounds, a very highly rated cornerback with great speed, who is going to compete for a role in the secondary. We have Kamar Archie, 6'1", 220 from the Hun School in Princeton, New Jersey. Great football program. Versatile linebacker with excellent athleticism, and he can read plays and make tackles in the open field. Then we've got from Jersey City, New Jersey, another linebacker, DJ McClary, 6'1", 185. Excellent tackler who can contribute in various defensive schemes, which is so critically important. Then we've got another defensive back, Rennick Stretch Dorillis, a 4-star defensive back, 5'11", 160. And then we've got Taliba Koba from Hillside, New Jersey, first team all-conference as a junior, 4-star signee and number 8 overall prospect from New Jersey as ranked by 247. He is an athlete, so it looks like he's going to be able to play or has the capacity to play multiple positions. And what's really exciting about this 2025 class, ranked 33rd in the country and ahead of teams, including those like Arizona State that made the playoff last year. They've got 3 4-stars coming in, 24 3-stars, and 3 top 100 ESPN commits. So we've certainly got a foundation being built by Coach Shiano that looks to the future being one that is very bright.
And one last guy that I did forget to mention, just because I didn't actually cover the secondary there, but Kaj Sanders, sophomore, he is our starting strong safety next year. So he'll be there next year. He'll be there in 2026. He is going to be the last in command anytime a running back escapes the linebackers on the right-hand side or a deep ball gets past Bo Masco, rather. Kaj Sanders is going to be there for the hard hits, for the interceptions, for the forced fumbles. It's going to be a learning curve for him, but he has time to do it, and he is special.
I completely agree with you. And this segment would not be complete without mentioning Cam Miller from the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Coming in from Penn State, 6 foot 183, 4 starts at Penn State, 27 tackles, 5 pass breakups in 16 games. And then we have Jet Elad from UNLV coming in, 6'1", 205, 84 tackles, 5 for loss last year with 1 sack, an interception, 6 pass breakups. Not to mention South Florida. We're getting Doug Blue Eli, 6'2", 315, 37 tackles last year, 5 for loss. Gonna really beef up that defensive line because let me tell you something. Rutgers needs big people on that defensive line to plug those gaps, and we need linebackers with speed. With the combination of linebackers, defensive backs, and defensive linemen that they're bringing in both from high school and the transfer portal, the losses are significant, but the gains are incredibly impressive.
And I'm surprised you said the B word that wasn't beef. I thought you were going to say that we need beef.
We need beef. I'll tell you, we need beef because every time I think about this, it reminds me of when I was a kid watching those commercials for White Castle when Ann Ramsey would look at the burger and say, "Where's the beef?" Well, Rutgers should run a commercial this year, clipping part of that commercial where she says, "Where's the beef?" And then they should say, "Here it is."